I just got done watching Inuyasha, season 1, episode 2, Seekers of the Sacred Jewel. Now, not super unexpectedly, this episode picks up exactly where it left off. And I realized is that these first 2 episodes are the origin story to this thing. And a lot of the series that I've been watching recently, and a lot of what I've become more accustomed to recently is stuff where they present you the slow mythology and just sit on a freak of the week kind of thing. Whereas this episode wasn't quite like that. It was more still about exposing mythos and, before getting into the plot, there's a couple of things I understood about the series better. Is that Inuyasha is not a good guy, and he's supposed to be boyish looking. Like, he does not look boyish looking. He's supposed to be sort of a teenage boy at his core, and he definitely acts like one. He's quite. We find out a little bit more about his character. He's quite sassy. He likes to lie down, in kind of like a moody kind of little way. He's angry. He doesn't listen well. He's kind of, Inuyasha is a Kylo Ren type. Perhaps Inuyasha provided a tiny bit of inspiration for Adam Driver's portrayal as Kylo Ren in the recent Star Wars films. But what happens very quickly early on is the village with Kaede, which is Kikino, who's essentially the main character is the reincarnation of this character, and subjugate was the word they threw around a lot. They threw around subjugate. They used to subjugate him. Subjugate him. That's not a word I'm familiar with, and I think that there wasn't a word that Kagame was essentially familiar with. But they do, and he gets this kind of beaded necklace around him that they sort of magically put upon him, and this allows her to be his master dom essentially, right? And she tells him to sit, and he sits and he sits and he sits, breaks through this bridge. And he wants that sacred jewel so damn bad, but he's a slave to her because she's the heir to the sacred jewel, so to speak. She's the owner of the sacred jewel, but he has full power over her. And then she very quickly gets, attacked by a group of like villagers, feudal villagers, probably maybe from a competing town or not. It's hard to say. And there's this one really big guy though that's like really wants the jewel, and he's really scary, and all the villagers become scared of him as well, except and she does some stuff, but she's still taking care of the villagers a bit. She's still like looking out for him, her own good. But she throws the sacred jewel across the room, and Inuyasha comes, and he saves the day, and he just fucks him right up. And he's got what they called a corpse crow. He'd been killed by this corpse crow, and it's pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. It was very engaging. You still don't really know what's going on, but the relationship between Kagame and Inuyasha that is being established is very interesting because she relates to him because she has no idea what's going on in this weird feudal, semi-past alternative universe. I am the descendant of this, legendary warrior goddess or whatever. And she kind of played hero though in this episode, in that Inuyasha and her team up together, and she grabs the bow, and she's on his back, and they try and kill this corpse crow that's getting bigger and bigger because he has the sacred crow. And eventually she can't do it, and Inuyasha kills the crow, but the crow still has the sacred jewel, and the crow heals together, but they have the claw of the sacred crow because he picked up a child from the village. And she attaches that to the bow and arrow and slings it at him. And in the process of slinging it at this corpse crow, shooting this bow and arrow at it, she actually breaks this MacGuffin, this sacred jewel. And this is what is establishing the series. Classic anime fashion. She shattered the fucking jewel. The jewel broke into what I imagine is, like, let's say, I don't know how long this season is. Let's say this episode's 26 episodes, 52 episodes. I don't know. But she shattered the jewel, and they're all gonna. And then they got attacked by the head of the crow, and she slashed it up. There's a little piece of the jewel, and it's like, yep. So there. Looking for the rest of the sacred jewel, I guess. That's what's going to go down. But what I think is interesting is that it might go back and forth between the modern world and not. It's hard to say because they've spent the last 2 episodes kind of in this one place, and then her still being with the sense of discovery. It's an incredibly engaging series. But it is, it is filled with tropes, and but the relationship dynamics between all of these characters that we've been introduced thus far are very interesting. And the amount of arcs they could probably pull out of this series is definitely far more exciting than something more childish like a Cardcaptors or a Sailor Moon. And not to knock those, I think those are far more accessible perhaps than this, but certainly into it. Certainly having a good time.